Shiaz Udvuzlum, my friends, and welcome to the outskirts of Budapest. We are here for round 7 of our no assists season. It is Hungary, just outside Budapest. The Monaco without the barriers, maybe just a wee bit further back. Dominic Szoboszlai. And there's the guy Puskás and all those other famous Hungarian footballers that have showed up throughout the years. But back again after last week in our Belgium sprint race. We are jumping a wee bit further south into Europe for our Hungarian GP this evening. I'm the David fan club today. He's got a lot of fans. I think the water park with him's another big fan of his. I think Cod's the first one out on track, and he is. We're right on board with him as he makes his way out for his first quali lap. My camera's not letting me change. That's odd. Why is that not doing that? Get early technical difficulties already. The game loves me today. Oh, wait, it's working. Alright, it was just playing up. Smashing. We'll run over last week's results whilst we waiting the guys setting their quali laps. It was, I believe, Cod took the win in the feature race. It was a sprint weekend. I can't fully remember the results of the sprint. I believe Liam got it, led from pole, and John and Cod had a wee scuffle for P2 and P3, and they dropped out the DRS of Liam. So Liam took P1 in the sprint race, got his 30th pole last week as well, so the pole fight is back on once again. The feature race, it was a mix of inters and wets on the start, and it was Cod, Padge and Chivers that all took the gamble on inters, and it did pay off for them in the end. Cod taking P1, Chivers got P7, which was his best result of the season. His 45th points finish as well, so it ticked off a few wee boxes for him. And Padge, I think, couldn't make the most of it in the end and get caught up in a few wee bits and bobs that happen in wet races and at Spa. It's just chaos. Yeah, Cod P1, it was John P2. It was Ethan that did take P3, but he dropped to P6 after penalties. Had a wee incident with Liam into the bus stop. I can't actually remember who was P3 last week. That's shocking. Might have been Aya. I think he would have got bumped up afterwards. So Aya went a nice wee podium finish. Did you manage to learn any Hungarian? I'm scared to learn any more. I won't lie. The language scares me, and as somebody that comes from a country that speaks German, I didn't think it would be, or it could get like any more aggressive. But no, lo and behold, it does. But we'll jump on board with our winner from last week as he's heading in towards turn 12 and 13 just now. He can really bounce over that curb on the inside at turn 12, you don't really lose that much time. Dipping a wheel into that little rain gutter on the inside at 13, going to swip all the way back out to the left, back into the right, so the Jamaican direction's gone bussa left and bussa right, and does a 15-2 banker. That's pretty good. I think John was doing 15-4s in the practice lobby earlier, and he smashed that one, so he'll be quite happy with that. A 15-1, our quali record is a 13-3. So I can't see that being beaten anytime soon. Ross, on his return back to the game, an 18-1. He did win here in Season 3. I think that was also the season he won his NA title, or one of his 2 NA titles I believe he has. And he'll be hoping he can get back up and running and into decent points being positions. I think he got P8 last week as well, which for a man that had only had about 24, 26 laps on the game at that point, I think he'll be quite happy with that. Chivers was P4. David jumps up to P3. He's been silently cooking away. Willow takes his spot. He goes P3, drops David to P4. There's another McLaren going over the line. That's Wizard Mitten. I think that's also his first time with NA. As you can see, a wee bit of a slide into turn 1. He was still getting used to it in the practice session. We'll see how he does throughout the weekend, but I think if he can just finish the race, it will be a nice wee bonus for him. Oh, it's another big slide, but we'll jump on board and we see anybody else is on a lap. Chipmunk is a friend of Wizard Mittens. This is his debut tonight as well, I believe. And I think this is his first time trying no assist. I think he'll be happy with a 17-4. Powen, 15-7, just in and off his teammate by about 6 odd tenths, which isn't too shabby either. The Georgian language, that's like Kvaratskhelia land. I don't know anything more than that. But yeah, what Chivers? What's? Oh, he's clipped the pit wall. Oh, we talked about it in the party beforehand as a joke. Is who's gonna clip that little end bit of the pit wall? And oh, there goes my slipstream. It's not gonna be it's not just gonna be your day-to-day socks, is it? It's really not. Wizard Mitten to the line, 28.3. You'll definitely be able to improve on that in the coming laps on a new fresh set of tyres. We've got Prev, or is that guy? Is that guy to the line? He goes P6. Was P6 last week as well. Which wasn't too bad, and I think he got a P4 at Japan. So he's in a nice wee run of form, so we'll see if he can stick in that sort of like 4th, 8th-ish sort of place where we'd be. I can't speak anymore. Where we would expect him to be. There we go. Get the words out, stick the teeth in, as David would say. Marlboro was the Aston Martin coming into the pits, deflated, is about to start his. We're on board with Prev as he makes his way round the last corner, burning to the line. DRS open, P11 with a 20.8. Can definitely improve on that one. He's still got about 10 minutes in the session to do so. Wizard Mitten is that at the chicane? Is he beached? Is he waiting until it's? I think he was waiting until it's clear. If you are beached, you are allowed to reset to track. Which is good. It's the only time you're allowed to do it in this league, though. But he has been struggling on these laps. Oh, this is a very expensive edition of Lawn Mowing Simulator. Powen has lagged out, but I'll jump on board with Deflated, and I'll see if I can try and get Powen back in. I can't remember. In fact, no, Padge is spectating this one, so Padge should be able to sort that one ASAP for us. I believe he has everybody's EA ID if they're not on Xbox, and I don't think I've got Powen's. Oh, that's a big bump and a bounce and a slide. That's not what you're wanting through there, and I think Liam's backed out of that one, and he'll be into the pits at the end of this lap to go again if he doesn't want to burn through any extra sets of the tyres. That was awfully unsettled through that chicane, which they have changed for this year. I think on last year's game it was nowhere near as bad, and it was kind of like this curb here at the inside of 12, where you could just really like bounce over it, get away with it, but not on this game. It fully punishes you for it. Jump on board with Cod. He's just about a 10th off his PB through sector 1. You want to be careful not to touch that curb on the inside at 5, because it will just send you into a spin. We'll see how Cod does over the bumps at the chicane. Bump and a nice wee bump and an invalidation to go with it. So our top runners and our podium finishers from last week struggling to get to grips so far. But we've all been there. We saw that in the practice lobby yesterday. We all know how difficult it can be. It looked really harsh though. I didn't think he was that far over it, but he must have been a fair amount. Liam has decided to go again, so we're right on board with him as he makes his way into sector 2, sliding his way round turn 5, going nice and narrow using that exit curb at the exit of 5. We'll see if he can nail the chicane this time. No dodgy bumps this time around, but he invalidates in the same place as Cod. The inside of that chicane causing a fair amount of bother for our top runners so far. I realised High on Spice is out on hards, so I think, has he got race fueling? He does, so he's just getting a wee bit of race practice in the quali session, which I mean, fair enough. If you've not had enough time to practice beforehand, you may as well. I think Io will be the next one to the line to set a representative lap, so we'll wait and see how he does. Through turn 13, we can go really far out wide. It's kind of like the Bruxelles, or Rivage, I believe it's called, at Belgium. You can use both of them. They changed the name recently, where you can either hug that inside or go really far out wide and kind of carry a wee bit extra momentum through the corners. But Aya goes P5. I think he'll be quite happy with that after his P3 last week with his 45th points finish to boot with that as well. So it's all looking up for the man in the Red Bull. He is on his own currently. His teammate is currently out. I'm not sure where JJ. I'm going to assume it's the Netherlands, and is getting a wee bit of experience working with carts, which good on him. You know, it's always good to try and relate as much back to the real world in the game as you can. Powen, I know you've disconnected. I thought Padge would have sorted it, but I'm not sure I have your EA ID, so I can't invite you in, unfortunately. I'll reply to Snack soon. I didn't notice that was there. But I don't have your EA ID, unfortunately. I thought I did, and I don't, but you might need to ping Padge in the general. And oh, John Jones round! It's causing all sorts of bother Sector 2 for our championship protagonists today, good lord. It's just nobody's winner. We're right on board with Willow. He'll be the next one. I think Deflated's on an out lap, about to start his lap, or just at Sector 1, just at Sector 1 split just now. I will add you right away if I get it back. That's a good idea, because then I can invite you straight back in. But we're right on board with our man who managed to survive. There's been a... Oh! That's an incident. There has been an accident. Might be another wee one for the stewards to solve afterwards, but Prev always seems to end up in these situations where he gets a grid drop. I think he got one last week at Belgium as well. So qualifying just not fully working for our man in the Ferrari currently, but Willow is back with us. He enjoyed a nice 3 weeks in Agulator land and managed to survive. I think if he finishes in the points tonight, it'll be 75th points finish, and he is also tied with Liam now on 30 poles. But we'll see if he can break that, and he does a 14.8, so he's already wanting his pole record back for himself. We will see if anybody else is on a lap. Wizard Mitten did have that incident. We'll see if he got a penalty for that one as well, or if it was just Prev. It was just Prev. Who are the stewards today? It is me and Steely. So I have first hand what's going on, and then Steely will see the clips afterwards once they get sent. And COD has invalidated another lap. So they're all struggling a wee bit just to try and keep it within the white lines. We'll see what that guy can do in the run to the line. I think he had a mistake or something on that lap, or it's still the same one that he's on. It was a wee bit off on that one. We've got Liam coming to the line if he's kept it valid, and he has, so we're right on board with our sprint race winner from last week. Nice and tidy, power out, can really get away with using so much of that curb on exit. There's a 15.3 slots into P4. So Willow setting the benchmark currently, coming straight back from his holiday, right onto the sim. Which, I mean, fair enough, I did the exact same coming back when I was on holiday, but I wasn't away for as long as Willow was. But they're all into the pits for getting ready to start their final runs. That guy with a big slide out of the chicane again. It's just, are they running the right height too low? Is the suspension too hard, too soft? Oh, that's a spinner, and into the wall it goes. I mean, I did the exact same in the practice lobby yesterday. I think I done it, Liam done it, Wizard Mittens had an excursion at turn 3, and is into the... confused. Prev was also going crazy in the practice yesterday. Oh yeah, I heard that one as well. Yeah, I was in the party with everybody else, and they were a wee bit unamused about what was going on. Willow was crazy fast. I mean, for a man that's not been on the game that much in the last 3 weeks because he's been in Florida, like, fair enough. Still have the pace, still haven't lost it, which is good. Means the title fight might have more of a swing to it. He is, I believe, 81 points off the top. We've got John on 148 and Willow's on 67 in P5. So it's a fair task to try and climb that back, or gain those points back. But you never know. Crazier things have happened, you know. Ocon's won a race. Hamilton's went out in Q1. You know, it's It is possible. Crazy to think of my times in assist here sub 15. I know it's ridiculous. I think my best was a 15.4 yesterday in the practice lobby. I think I've got the screenshot on my phone, so I will have a wee quick gander. And we'll see. Oh, it was a 15.1, and Liam did a 14.9 as pole. So it's possible. Liam definitely does have that time in him, but I think he was saying in the practice lobby beforehand he would rather have done that lap today rather than yesterday. That's a wee bit wide from high on space. Keeps it going, keeps it valid. He's done better than our championship leaders so far. Oh, pardon me. I'm happy with a sub 16. A sub 16 is still good. Like a 15 is what you want to be aiming for around here, but pole is probably going to be a 14. I'll go a 14.7. I'll go a low 14.7. I'm not sure how much time Willow has on that lap. So we'll wait and see. High on space, bails out of that one. Might not have enough time to go again. It'll be touch and go for that one. Prev's lost some of his front wing, and I think that's Marlboro he's letting through. No, sorry, it's deflated he's letting through. Just now, whilst he's off cutting a wee bit of grass and some tumbleweeds that have grown at the side of the track. Willow not yet going out. I think he's got enough time. You don't lose that much time in the pit lane here because you kind of cut out that last corner. Oh no, my game's just bugged. Nice. Willow is out on track. Saying yesterday they predicted the pole time will be in the high 40. Yeah. I can agree with that. I think they can maybe shave off. I think Willow can shave off maybe another 10th and a half, so I might say a low 14.7 for my prediction. Baguette might be on top. But I think John will be the first one to do a lap, so we'll ride on board with our championship leader. We'll see what he can do. Brake just as that little line appears. I think that's your speed trap line into turn 1. You want to get the power down nice and early, burn through the battery in towards turn 2 and 3. Can really hug that inside line and get the foot to the floor as early as you can burn a lot of battery out of turn 4 up towards turn 5 at the hill. We'll see how much he's up by for sector 1 split. It's a 10th and a half as he bundles his way through turn 4 and into turn 5. Feels like a roller coaster, this part of the track, where it's uphill, left, right, up and down, side to side, like a roller coaster. Bouncing over that chicane again, does keep it valid, which is a bonus for him if he's definitely wanting to snag that pole position and equal the pole record between Liam and Willow, making sure he doesn't spin at that curve like we all did yesterday, keeping it valid for now. 2 tenths up and is purple relative to everybody else on track currently. Into turn 12, doesn't invalidate on the exit. Into 13, all the way out to the right, all the way into the left, not dipping a wheel in that little rain gutter. Back out to the left hand side, cuts back into the right, making sure not to hit the pit wall on entry. It's a little bit of a slide out the last corner that might cost him. Run to the line, can he take pole? He cannot! Misses out by a tenth, he will stay P2, will be deflated to the line next. We'll see what he can do, if he can further extend his pole streak. He cannot, it stays as a 15-0. It will be Cod next. He needs at minimum 4-5 tenths he needs to find if he wants to beat Willow to pole position, who's only just going through that sector 2, sector 3 split now. Cod Camper to the line, can't beat it either, does a 14.9 and just pips John by 8 thousandths of a second. David to the line, goes P8 with a 15.7, Aya to the line with a 15.6, Marlboro next does a 16.6, just behind all of them. Powen I think did get back in and does a 15.6, also just in behind Aya. Willow to the line, we'll see if he can beat the 14.8 that he done, and it is a 14.7, just about by 3 thousandths of a second. See who else we've got coming to the line. I think that'll be Socks next. We'll see what he can do. 4 tenths up, so this should improve him up a fair few places up to P8, P9. Me thinks, and it is P9 with a 16.5. That guy has bailed out of his lap right at the end, and that is us. The man that has not been in the country, on the same continent, takes his pole record back. He's now up to 31. Deflated stays at 30. John stays at 29. And now I can take a drink. Win-win. Oh, water is beautiful. There we have it. Willow, 31st pole of his IIRL career, takes P1 ahead of Cod Camper in P2. Unlucky to miss out, but he'll be wanting to charge forward ahead of the field. John John, our championship leader, in P3. Deflated P4. That guy P5. Aya P6. Powen P7. David P8. Sox P9. Marlboro P10. Chipmunk on his debut P11, Ross on return in P12, Wizard Mitten P13, Chivers P14 after crashing out, Prev has a grip drop, and High on Spice was not able to get a lap in time. So we'll wait and see what time the boys are going at. Will be 3 minutes to the hour, so we have 4 minutes. Oh, one saying 4 minutes, and no, sorry, one saying 3 minutes and one saying 4 minutes. So it'll be one or the other. Non-Willow pole for me. Silver linings are all COD, silver linings. I mean, you won from P7 last week, so if you can't win from P2 now, there's something wrong. There's definitely something wrong. If you can win from P7, you can win from anywhere. Oh, pardon me, the waters went down the wrong way. Willow saying, found the 10th and a half in turn 5, backed off a little because of the incident I saw between Prev and Jack. Jack is Wizard Mitten, by the way, for those that don't know. But the race is dry. We don't have a resident weatherman, Ethan, with us tonight. I think he's still trying to find his chippy that he ordered last night and still hasn't arrived. But we can run over strategy very quickly, whilst we have about 2 or 3 minutes until the lights go out. Or until the formation lap starts, I do say. But I think our top 4 will be doing nice simple one stop, will be hards for about 19-20 odd laps, maybe 21-22 at a push, if the tyre wear is not too bad or as bad as mine was in the practice lobby yesterday. And they will be straight onto mediums if there's no safety cars in between any and all that. And a medium hard is also possible. You're boxing about lap 16, 17ish for that roughly if the tyre wear on them's not too bad. Fuel around here, you don't really gain, but you don't really lose either. It's not by much. I think it depends if you're in the DRS train or if you're in clean air or not, because guys in the DRS train yesterday, they managed to save about 0.3, 0.4 fuel, I think it was, whereas when I dropped out of it, I lost about 0.7. So if you want to play it safe, you can go about a lap over. If there's no safety cars, you can maybe risk it a little bit, but with it being a Monaco with extended runoff, there may be a slight probability. I'd go about maybe 65% chance of a safety car tonight. 2-stop is also possible. I think Chivers mentioned that in the practice lobby he's probably going to do that because the tyre wear for some of the other guys was just abhorrent. They couldn't really run with it. So it will probably be a medium, hard, medium. It could be a hard, medium, medium if there's an early safety car. You can try and stretch them out as best you can. It's a 35 lap race, so if you have to box, if there's like a lap 1 safety car, you can maybe try and do a full 16, 17 lap stint on mediums and then box for another pair until the end. Will be difficult again for me on the pad. I always forget you're on the pad, and I should remember that because you have the exact same controller that I do. And I forget it every time. I think the one stoppers are easier because they're like for guys with wheel, because we can change the ERS modes a lot easier. We can look after the tyres a wee bit better. We can like feel like the throttle and the slide more through the wheel rather than just a wee like finicky bit of plastic in my hand. But it's, I feel like the deg is, yeah, it will be. It definitely will be. It's more wheel-based, this game, I think, because I think for pad players it feels like they slide a lot more, whereas on wheel you can be a lot smoother and methodical with it, and it kind of helps. But has gone 57, so we'll see if any of the guys have readied up. We shall wait and see. Quality record was also kept by John John. We did have a 14.7 pole, and the quality record was a 13.3. So John John will be quite happy he's kept that one. They should have readied up about now, so we shall wait and see what tyres our peeps have gone on to it. I do have hotkeys in the... Oh, that's not too bad then. I should probably invest in something like that, but they're really annoying apparently, so I don't want to faff about with any of my buttons. I've got them all set up how I like. Those pad players are at a disadvantage. On this game, yes, it used to be fairly even. There was tracks that were more pad based than the rest of them. Bahrain used to be really bad for a parade. Good lord, as a pad track, but it's now simmered down a wee bit and it's nowhere near as bad as it was. I'm still decent compared to Killian so far this year. I'm still washed, that's why. If I put sometimes at least, mostly not. You had me at Australia, to be fair. If you hadn't have had the incident at Australia, you would have been chilling. Well, I might need to convert to the Dr. Pepper halfway through this race. But I think I put this in the no assist general yesterday, but for people that don't have the roller, can't see it, I'll mention it on stream as well. There was a nice wee fun stat that I discovered when looking through our past winners, and it is that every one of them has had the letter J in the name, except Willow. Was season 3 we had Ross, who's racing tonight. Ross J, says the J at the end. We then had Joseph Hales in season 4. He doesn't fully race with us anymore, and he hasn't since like season 4, 5, 6-ish. I think he's more involved with IIRL Motorsports now. We then had John in season 5 and season 6. He had 2 J's, so that kind of counts. Season 7 we had Bjorn with the Dutch spelling, so it's like BJURN. And then season 8 it was Willow that ruined the wee streak. But we have 3 race winners here on the grid this evening, so it might change about, it might not. COD is on the mediums, I have noticed as well. So, cat amongst the pigeons, you want to lead out of turn 1 as best as he can, and then maybe try and break away. I don't think Willow will want to push that hard. He'll know he can probably get by right at the end, but we'll see what the guys have done fuel-wise. I've also realised that the ERS modes are on, and that's not meant to be. We're not going to get a bollocking for that one today. We'll turn that one off whilst I remember. But Willow on hards, COD on mediums, John and Deflated gone hards. That guy, Aya, Powen, and David all went mediums. Socks on the hards. In the midfield, he'll be one to watch out for off of the start, and he'll be hoping he can keep it clean and not get any wing damage. And then we have Marlborough, Chipmunk, Ross, Wizard Mitten, Chivers, all on the mediums, High on Spice at the back on hards, and then Prev just bringing up the rear of the field as well on his mediums. But as they all line up into position, we shall wait and see how the run goes into turn 1. Willow's been disqualified! Our pole sitter. It's not what you'll have wanted at all, giving COD all the advantage he needs into turn 1. COD just needs the best start of his life to make those tyres pay off. But as we await our 5 red lights, there we have them, 3, 4 and 5 red lights. We are underway here in Hungary. Willow getting a really good start off the line, minimising the wheel spin. COD Camper though already alongside. They're going to maybe go 3 wide into turn 1 as the camera pans out. COD Camper takes that inside line and takes P1 from Willow, who started on that pole position, but he's going to try and fight back at him down the hill in towards turn 3. He's got that outside line, but he's going to have to seed and maybe try a little bit of a switchback if he can get close enough to it. It's just not going to happen for the man in the McLaren, and that DSQ on the run up to the grid, just trying to get into the grid slot, has cost him off the line, and COD Camper now can just basically pull away as best as he can and try and break that DRS to his title rivals behind them. But the man that won the feature race last week takes P1 off of the start. They're all still bumbling their way through. There's an awful lot of bumping and bouncing going on at the back of the grid. Socks has managed to make his way a wee bit further up. Ross has as well. He's up to P10. That's a great start for our man in the V-Carb, who's hardly had any run time on track this season. We've got a yellow flag further back. I think Wizard Mittens had a wee bit of an accidente, but I'm not sure he's got wing damage. My camera's not panning round and not changing, so it won't let me see. Maybe he's had a wee collision with High on Spice, who's also dropped a wee bit further back off that train. But as we end lap 1 of 35 this evening, COD Camper is P1 and the fastest lap of the race in the process, but he was the first one over the line. But we'll let him have it. We'll let him have it. Oh, that's a big slide for Prev coming out the last corner. That was nearly a Perez repeat into the pit wall. Wizard Mittens had another wee bit of a spin coming out. Oh, he's done a Verstappen, basically. Oh, we can see the leaders in the background as well. That's a nice wee view of that. That's a nice wee view. But that gap between our top two keeping steady at about 67 tenths, which is not what COD fully needs. He's burned a lot of battery so far. That might be a warning for Willow already. That dirty air just dragging the car all the way out to that right hand side. In fact, we'll check if we got a warning for that one. I'm not sure. No, he managed to lift off just enough. And has managed to get away with it, but COD desperately needs to at least get it to about 9 tenths. If he can get it to 9 tenths and fully pull away, he'll be very, very happy, and it means John and Deflated behind can go on the attack, but they do have pressure from that guy behind in the Ferrari. He's up to P5. That's not too shabby from him. I think Aya had a wee bit of a bog down off the start. He's down into P7. But we'll have a wee look at our position changes, if I can remember where they are. It's this very first one. And yeah, Aya dropping down a wee bit, but most of them have all kept it fairly tidy so far. There's not been any major incidents from any of our guys. Up at the front, Ross up 2, Chivers up 3, Wizard Mittens had another wee spin at sector 2, Prev up 2, Marlboro down 3, he's not had the best start of his career so far. Go back up to our guys at the front and we will chuck the tyres back on. You'd think I would know how to work this screen by now. We've got the Hash boys having a wee bit of a ding-dong going into turn 1. I think Chipmunk's had a wee bit of a slide. He's still on the grass as well with the DRS open. He's trying all over to get past Chivers ahead of him, but he's now up into P11 and he might have just had a wee bit of a wiggle and a slide going through. But again, they've all broken off into this wee group where it runs your top 4 and your 5, and then it's like 5th, 6th and 7th, and then from everybody onwards it's just one big train. So we'll see if any of these guys fancy an undercut when the time comes in a couple of, well, not a couple of laps time, it's about 13, 14 laps away. But you never know, might be a safety car. You never know with this league. Oh, I think Liam's at the moment coming out. He's dropped back a fair amount. I've seen the dot on the minimap seemingly pull away, and I think John will have seen that. He'll be trying to break that gap. He was nearly out of the DRS as well to Willow ahead of him, which I did catch last lap, but I think Wizard had a spin and I got distracted. They're all fairly even on the battery. We'll see if Willow fancies the move. He is gaining. COD goes to the inside to defend it. Might invite John in if these guys start fighting. I'm not sure he'll be close enough for the move just yet. I think Chivers has picked up wing damage in that fight that we saw on the last lap, but COD just not able to pull away on those mediums just yet. Oh, Willow's had a slide! He's clipped that little bit at the inside at turn 2 that I always think is turn 3 and it's not. Bouncing over that guy. Might get a warning for that one as well. That looked awfully close. He's not managed to. We'll have a quick warning check whilst we're here anyway. We know John doesn't pick up warnings. Oh, as we say that. That might be a collision warning for lap 1 though. I'll check that when we get the chance. Wizard Mittens having another wee bit of a spin. I think he's still just getting used to no traction. But we've all been there. There's no shame in trying. And it's good to see that he is still keeping going for now. But I won't be surprised if he pulls into the pit lane and calls it a day. But if he keeps on going fair enough to him, you know, it's difficult learning the assists. We've all been there. Everybody's been there at that point. You have to get through that stage to get to this stage that these guys are at the front. Which is just how it works, unfortunately. Marlboro and Chipmunk are going side by side into turn 12. They're going to make that side by side into 13 as well. And all that fighting is just going to let Prev behind them just have a wee bit of a look if he can get close enough. Still going side by side. I did want to pan up back up to the front to see if the leaders made any moves. I did see Willow get fairly close into turn 1, but I don't think he was close enough. So we'll jump back with Prev and Marlboro, who, with all that fighting and squirming, it's let Prev straight back through. I think Socks and David were having a wee bit of a side-by-side fight as well. Got Wizard staying well out of the way of our leading pack through turn 5. We'll be desperately trying to stay as clear. Oh, that's an unfair penalty. That's a bit mean. He's just trying to stay out of the way. If he finishes, oh no, it will get served in the pit lane, so we can't get rid of it. That's the worst bit. Oh, that's annoying. That's annoying. That shouldn't be a penalty. It really shouldn't be. just before the leaders get on the straight. Oh, pardon me. Right, on to lap 6 then. We'll see if Willow fancies the move into turn 1. He is burning a fair amount more battery than Cod. We'll see if he fancies a dive round the outside. They're going to be side by side into turn 1, but Cod can just kind of show him the door. Does have to give him the room on exit. Still a little bit of that front wing alongside. Moves to the inside to cover him off. We'll see if he fancies it round the outside into turn 3. Maybe fancying a switchback on the man that got P1 off of him on the first lap, and they're still just pushing him all the way up and through up the hill into the sector split, but you can't stay that close to him. You'll end up with dirt air and drag yourself out wide and pick up more time penalties than you did last night, son, which is not a repeat of what you'll be wanting at all. But he's just pushing him through the corners. I think Cod maybe trying to back the field up a little bit, trying to give John and Deflated like extra pressure on Willow so it's not all just on him, or if he's saving in different areas of the track. It's all mind games at this level, to be honest with you. It's just trying to make sure you know what your rival's doing as well as yourself. You need like the Sun Tzu quote. Was it? If you know your enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 1,000 battles or 100 battles. There's something along those lines, I'm pretty sure. But we'll see if Willow fancies the move again. He's not tried it round the outside. We'll see if he can fancy a dive down the inside if he gets close enough. Not just yet. Ross has had a spin. I think he'll be into the pits to get off those tyres. We'll see if Willow dives to the inside. There's contact. They're both off. John and Deflated go through. The top two collide at turn 2 of the race, and they're now fully out of the DRS of both of them. I think Willow's got wing damage in the front right, and he does. So that will drop him even further back down the field. I don't think Cod got any damage from it. I don't think we have the setting on where you get floor damage. I think we are just standard and standard, but John and Deflated have been absolutely handed a result. And the man that had it all in his hands now has wing damage, is now down in P4. He's getting pressure off John's teammate in P5. The speed difference between them, they'll definitely be in at the end of this lap. I think High on Spicy's had a move. Speaking of moves, that guy sent one from about 3 postcodes back. That was sent from Bratislava, my friend. That move was never on. Willow should be into the pits in this lap, and he is. That guy does get the move done, but he did push Powen off track to do it, so we'll see if that one gets sent for me and Staley to have a review at. We'll stick on board with these guys for now as our leaders. We'll just sit in a DRS train and pull away. We'll see if Aya fancies the move into turn 1. Had a little bit of a look, can't quite get it done. I'm assuming Willow's going to go hard, or maybe another set of mediums to the end, and does so he'll be back in for another set of hards near the end of this race. This is... So, oh no, sorry, he can go medium. He was already on hards. I do apologise. I'm forgetting the strategy already. But that now has promoted all of these guys up a place, and now there's very good points on offer. That guy can equal his best result at Japan. He can nab a P4. Powen can maybe nab a P4 and get another decent result after not being here and on holiday for a few weeks. He did finish P9 last week, which is definitely not what he wants. I think the strategy team got a wee bit confused and put him out on dries when it was raining, which is not what you want. And Aya as well, been profiting off Willow not being here. He might be able to profit off it. That works, doesn't it? Profit off of it again. Yeah, the English is difficult, man. And David as well, he's on for his best result of the season so far. The man that's only done about 2 or 3 races and no assists this season has taken the permanent seat in that Alpine, does stick in the DRS. So we'll jump back with Powen, who's sat behind that guy at the head of this train, but I don't think they're close enough for a move on any of them just yet. And it's now all simmered down again because that's just completely demolished 2 of the guys at the front races. So it is now just between all of these guys back here. Marlboro getting the move done on Chipmunk into turn 1. Wizard Mittens had another spin through the middle sector. Was that a reset to track, or was it just a slide? I think it was just a slide. He has managed to get going again. It's just that the grass on his tyre. Yep. You need to watch for the leaders coming through soon as well, but that'll be another. When you can't just fully chuck it in after a spin, the tyres just can't cope with it. We can see on the data, yeah, the tyres have just completely died. So we'll see if he goes into the pit and calls it a day. We'll ride on board with that guy through the Sector 2, Sector 3 split. So I don't think Deflated will be fancying a move on John just yet. We know these guys like to work in tandem and they will just sit behind for as long as they can and maybe try a wee undercut, try an overcut. I think the overcut does work here, but we did the undercut last night and we gained about I gained about 2 seconds roughly on the cars ahead. Quad Camper is in. We'll see where he comes out relative to Willow, but this should be for a set of hards and is. Wizard Mitten's going straight on at turn 1. Quad's going to come out miles clear of Willow. That front wing change just hasn't helped the man in the McLaren at all when he sat down in P12 on for his worst result. In a fair wee while, Wizard Mitten off to it's another European city, Vienna. There as well. David now up to P5. Oh yeah, because Quad boxed. You would think after 6 rounds of me doing this I would recognise when somebody boxed. Socks has made it up past Aya as well. I think I just missed that one. That might be one to get put into the overtaking channel. That looked a wee good one. Oh no, Aya's got wing damage. Now was that off Wizard Mitten? Was that off into a wall? Was that when Wizard Mitten went on like straight at turn 1? I'm not sure. But Aya does have wing damage, so that's his race done and dusted. The commentators curse after saying that he was definitely on for another good result and could maybe snag a P4. He's now down in P7. He's going to have loads of wing damage. He might have Prev all over him as well if he doesn't pull into the pits soon enough. Speaking of, David is into the pits. Don't speed into the pits, son. You've done so well up until this point. Good lad. Keeps that nice and balanced. Powen fancying the dive bomb on that guy for the final podium spot so far. Need to be careful you don't spin on that curve when you get the power down there side by side. Coming out of turn 1 into turn 2. He has to slot back behind the man in the Ferrari. He's going to try a little dink to the left, to the right. No Agadoo nonsense today and he sticks behind. Oh no, he doesn't! Fancies it. That guy did give him the room, but he had a massive slide halfway around the corner. And he wasn't able to get the move done. That'll be a warning for that guy, 100%. Cod's got the move done on Prev as well into turn 1 and 2. That move done and dusted, and our man on the fresh hard compound tyres is up to P6. He might be 2-stopping because in our highly detailed research that we did last night, I think we may have realised that the 2-stop might have been quicker. It was marginal. It might have been quicker, but I cannot see COD taking those tyres another 24 laps. I can't see it happening. I know he's the tyre whisperer and all, but I think he might be trying a 2-stop. I think he has to try something different now after his incident with Willow. But Powen into turn 1 on that inside line, doesn't spin the rear assist. Oh no, he does, it's another slide, but he's already ahead of that guy getting that move done, so it's not going to bother him too much. He's now up into P3 and can now act as a wee bit of a rear gunner for John when COD ends up on this train. Wizard Mitten 3-second penalty for his worries along with his major front wing damage that he does have. You're not able to pull into the pits, son. Oh, it's a full end plate as well. So it might have been a collision with Aya that's done that one. I'm telling you, by the way, Prev is deploying the Liam Lawson Monaco strats here. It's just being an absolute blockade for everybody behind them. It might help that guy in the pit window because some of these guys is on the same strategy as him. Marlboro, Chipmunk, some of the guys further back as well that might end up closing in on this soon enough when these guys all box. We'll see if any of these guys in P3 or P4 respond to David boxing, which I don't think they will. Deflated, just quite happy sitting in the DRS for now, so we'll ride on board with Powen through the last corner. None of these guys responded just yet, so they might be going for the 1-stop. David 2-stopping along with COD. It's all relatively simmered down. Wizard Mitten does call it a day. Cod already getting the move done on socks before the DRS line. Fair enough, yeah. Fresh tyres against old tyres, that's what that will do for you. And Cod up into P5, and Socks will be taking those hards another 8 or so laps. Willow getting the move done on Marlboro. Marlboro not making that a difficult one for him. But ooh, Chipmunk fancied the wee move there as well, trying to follow through. But Willow is now on a salvage mission for this race. Chivers and high on Spice did get the move done, but there was yellow flags out, so I don't know if we need to give that one back. Oh, that's a slide. Don't think he has. I think he'll get away with that one, but Wizard Mitten did eventually call it a day. I mean, you did give it a decent go, son. I can't fault you. I really can't. It's not everybody's cup of tea, no assists. It's a very high learning curve. A very, very high learning curve to get to the level that these guys have. There's an absolute bus being deployed in the middle sector. Willow's pushing Prev all the way through. We've seen how aggressive he was yesterday in the practice race, so Willow will be hoping not to trip up over any more drivers than he already has today. He's going to fancy it round the outside into turn 13. It's not really the place you want to be doing it. He's going to be out on the marbles. It will come back to him. Prev gives him a little bump. He's near enough into the pit lane. Going through the final corner, it turns to the inside for the final one. He should be ahead, and I think he did get the detection point as well. That DRS flap is open. I don't think Prev will be too happy with that one, but Willow up into P7. I can't really see Prev fighting this one from that far back either. Marlboro not close enough for a move either. And David has joined this train, and these guys still to box. See if he fancies the dive on Chipmunk into turn 2. He is alongside. Chipmunk gives him the room, maybe being a wee bit too cautious, just opens the door for him and says, on you go, sunshine, don't fight me too hard. And that move is done and dusted. We've got Aya and Chivers again going side by side into turn 2. Aya on the inside, Chivers on the outside. It just doesn't really work. You can't carry the full momentum round that outside anymore. Daniel Ricciardo-esque. And Aya is up into P12, and Chivers has to once again settle for P13. We'll go back to our big fighting train of cars here in the midfield. David nearly fancying it coming out of the chicane on Marlboro. He's not going to be close enough just yet. He might fancy the dive here and do it like Kimi Raikkonen and drift his way through the corner, but I'd say it's ill-advised, especially on these new tyres. See if he fancies the move. Has a look to the inside, tries to outbrake Marlboro, not close enough to do it, but Marlboro's going to have that DRS from Prev ahead of him. Marlboro pulls into the pits, so that unleashes David to have a go at Prev. And look at the amount he gains through the corners. Just the difference between new and used tyres. He's going to run to that inside line, not going to get pushed up against the wall, and he will take P7 off of the man in the Ferrari, and he's down to P8. Chipmunk picks up 3 seconds, picks up 10 seconds for speeding into the pit lane, and that's not going to help him either. And a wing change as well, so his race just coming slowly and slowly more undone. John nearly dropped deflated out of the DRS, has dropped deflated out of the DRS. Cod is now up to P3. Did get past Powen, and I must have missed it being focused on the big midfield battle that we have. I apologise for that one. I think deflated has managed to get back in. I think John was being a wee bit too conservative through the final sector, or he's made a mistake. But I think the pit loss time here is about 15-18 seconds, I believe. And got a yellow flag for us. Willow had a spin. I think Willow's had a moment, because that was a very slow moving McLaren going into sector 3. Willow is coming into the pit, so we might see a retirement here. Possibly. I can't see him taking those mediums any further. I have left my party. I've seen that pop up in the wee bottom corner. I will sort that ASAP. Jump through it and we'll see. And Willow has retired and left and sped into the pit lane. Our man that started on pole has called it quits halfway through the race. So now, who's going to profit? Because that's one front runner gone. So P4 is now absolutely anybody's. I think currently it's looking like it's going to be between Socks, David and Powen who has boxed and put on a fresh pair of hards to maybe run till the end of the race. But 19 odd laps, yeah, he'll be definitely running to the end. But McLaren, again, no points, nil points for the weekend. It's just not really what they wanted. In fact, it was David and Ross that ran for them last week. They get P8 and P11. So, but that's, yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that one. That was. It's not nice to see people retire because obviously we do points all the way down, so you can still finish in the points. It might not be much, but you can still finish in the points. It's like a nice wee incentive to keep people going. But the gap from COD to deflated is slowly trickling down. COD does need to box again. I can't see him taking those hards all the way. He'd have to be boxing now if he was taking them to the end. They've already got 7 laps on them. We know he was good on his tyres yesterday. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that one. We'll stick on board with the leaders for just now as everybody's doing their pit stops and it's all sort of fanning out just a little bit. We'll see what Deflated's doing that's making him drop a wee bit far off of Johnson. But the gap's now down under 13 seconds, down to 12.8 briefly there. Deflated came out of turn 13 and into the final corner. We've got another yellow flag further back. I think Prev's had a spin coming out the pit lane on cold tyres or yet. No, he's got no front wing. He's definitely had a moment somewhere. I'm not sure if there was anybody else involved. So that's a very slow lap back to the pits, and that's that set of hards wasted. High on Spice has let Chipmunk through, but has High on Spice got damage as well? No, he's alright. Chipmunk damage, maybe only emotionally after the speeding in the pit lane. Prev gets 3 seconds for corner cutting, but he's got no front wings. That's a wee bit harsh. Oh. Right, the water's ran out. We're on to the Dr. Pepper. Officially, we're on to the Dr. Pepper. Wow. Chivers for speeding in the pit lane as well. It catches people out, that one. You can't really see like the marker for coming in. But Chivers will now need to box. Again, see if Prev retires in the pits or not with no front wing. Crucially, now Deflated out of that DRS range. Prev has retired in the pits, so now Chivers is our final man running on the track. But Deflated out of the DRS, so now COD surely sees that and will be absolutely beelining as best as he can towards the back of that Aston Martin. We'll see if any of them fancy boxing at the end of this lap, lap 19, for our front runners as Sox comes across the line and starts his 19th lap of 35 as well. See if any of them fancy it. See if the undercut's doable. You do gain a fair amount, and if Liam had to box now, he would still come out in that big massive gap between COD and Sox. It'll be interesting to see, because I think for his race, and if he wants to keep the title fight going, because currently he's 4 points off COD in P3 and 24 off John. So if he wants to try and keep gaining as much as he can, it might be worth the gamble, and he does. He does blink, he doesn't have the best pit entry, gets a little bit loose on the curb on the way in, don't want to speed into the pit lane like everybody else. That's awfully close, manages to keep it slowed down in time, but COD is now unleashed. And he might get DRS off high on Spice in front of him as well for the next lap, if he gets close enough and doesn't lap him in time. Deflated onto the mediums till the end for the last 15 or 16 laps. There's an almighty train forming behind Sox who hasn't boxed yet. He's got David behind on fresher tyres. He's got that guy behind on fresher tyres. He immediately pulls to the right hand side to try and break that slipstream as best he can, but it's just not going to be enough. David goes P4, that guy up to P5, and I think that might be the warning sign for Sox to be coming in sooner rather than later. Not Deflated. Sorry, David running a wee bit far wide out of turn 1, burning that wee bit of energy just to try and stay ahead and keep P4 ahead of that guy for now. But those two do need to box again, so Socks maybe letting them go for just now, knows that he doesn't really have to fight it as hard as he does. As High on Spice picks up 3 seconds of penalties for track limits. We'll jump to the gap to the leader between John and Deflated, who should be in this lap to respond and does so. The gap 19.1.2, we'll wait and see what it was as he hits the detection line, down to 18.9. COD will definitely take the lead. We'll see how close it is between Deflated and John on exit. We know how much you can gain on the fresher tiles. It depends how much Deflated has been pushing on them on this outlap. If you look to your right hand side of the screen, you'll see that Mercedes coming out of the pit lane. There he is. Deflated has managed it. Now he just has to keep it. He's done the hard part. The strategy blink has worked. Managed, it's like a net gain of about 2 or 3 seconds there, by the way. That's a fair amount gap. That guy getting the move done on David as well. Socks is into the pits at the end of this lap. He'll be in for a set of mediums to run until the end. We now just need to watch the gap between these top 3s. This is when the strategy fight will really start. We've seen leaders collide multiple times this season. We've had it at Australia, we've had it at Japan, we've had it at Belgium, we've had it today. It's near enough a dead set every race that we have, because the guys are so competitive and they don't really want to sit in a DRS train for 35 laps and finish P4. It's not really fun. But John has got the tyres clicking ASAP. And the gap between them and COD now down to about 5.6, 5.5, 5.4 even. It's fully tumbling, 5.3 in the space of 2 corners. Wonder if John will fancy the move now. He is burning a fair amount. He doesn't want to stick behind Deflated Wee any longer than he has to. Liam thinks to the right to defend that inside line. John sees it, picks the left for the outside. Can't get close enough for the switch back on his championship rival for now. They've got traffic in front of them and High in Spice. It's not going to help them. I don't think you get dirty air off of ghost cars though, and he should move out of the way of our leaders and does so there's no extra DRS helpings for Deflated Wee to help him out. Has to try and get as close to COD as he can before John gets past her. He will just be finishing P2 in this race, but from P4 I think he'll be fairly happy with that. And especially with Willow not scoring any points, I think he'll be fairly happy. We'll do a wee quick warnings check whilst they're still in Sector 2. So COD's on 1, Deflated 1, 2, so he's on thin ice. John, that might be a collision warning. I've not had a chance to check just yet. Was waiting for a VSC or a safety car and it's not quite happened just yet. They've taken nearly 2 seconds out of COD, who does box this lap. Gave himself a 3-second gap to do it, and I think John now will be burning as much as he can. Deflated doing the exact same, but the slipstream and DRS is just enough to get it done. He's going to dink to the right, go to the left, has a little bit of a fake. 2 leaders side by side through turn 1. They're going to be side by side on exit as well. John on that inside. Deflated going to try and cover him off as much as he can, but John's already there, has to yield and give him the space. A little bit of a love tap between them. John on the inside, Deflated on the outside, turns to the inside for the next corner. They're still side by side and John has to sit behind for just now, and it's not worked out on that lap for now. COD has came back out 16 seconds behind these guys, and if they fight too hard, burn off the tyres. There's another speed in the pit lane penalty for a driver this evening. Aya becomes the next one to fall foul of a speed limit. I know how it feels, son, don't you worry. Don't you worry. We can monitor the gap between COD and John for just now, but I still think fresh mediums are going to be miles quicker than fresh hards. We'll see how much battery both of them have burned as they head on to the penultimate corner and into turn 14. John sat at about 86-87% battery. Liam sat at about 60, so it's not going to be enough. He has to burn all the way down the straight, and he's got John sat right in the slipstream behind them. He might get the move done before turn 1 if he gets it done, and dusted to the outside goes our championship leader, but Deflated late on the brakes. kicks the bum out of the car just a little bit. They're bouncing their way through turn 1 and they're side by side again as they head into turn 2. I don't think they're going to be close enough to hang it round the outside like they did last time. Another bit of a love tap on the Petronas sponsored side pod of John, who now takes the lead of the Hungarian Grand Prix, but they're going to be side by side running up the hill again, and I think John lets him back through and says that love tap wasn't very fair, so I'll let you back through so I don't get reported through the stools and have a wee bit of a finger wagging and a wee bit of a penalty point added onto the licence. So he's playing the fair game. Didn't want to have it decided in an office or at my desk or Steely's. Hands back the position, but that lifting off, COD has now put that gap down to 13.6. He's gaining a fair amount, and if these guys keep fighting the way they are, he might be a late shout for the end of the race, but he's got an awful amount of time to close up by. Anybody have a round 3? As they make their way round the final corner, we'll see if John can get the move done. Third time lucky, deflated. Well dinked to the right, John, well dinked to the left. He'll fancy the move, late on the brakes, once again, deflated wee on the inside, trying to hold off the American as best as he can, but John has the power, has the traction, gets that move done, doesn't expect Liam to dive bomb him down the inside, doesn't bother defending it, and our championship leader retakes P1, gets it done cleanly, and can now fly away down the straights and hopefully keep a hold of that P1 and extend his championship advantage over the guys in P2 and P3 behind them. We can see if Liam fancies the move. I'm not sure if he'll be close enough or have the battery to get it done. John is sat chilling at about 75-80% and Liam all the way down in the 30s. If he can stick in the DRS, it might be worth a little bit of a late move like he done in Season 4 on myself and try and get the move done if he can get close enough, but we'll wait and see. We'll go back down to the nether reaches of the field. We've got Aya and Chipmunk going side by side out of the last corner, and Aya getting that move done. He's now up into the top 10 and into P9 as Chipmunk has to settle for P10. We'll go back up to our leaders now as they round their way through the final corner, and we'll see if Deflated can get any closer or fancy a move on John, but he's just got no battery left to push with, absolutely none. And John sat teasing him down the straight, sat in none. He can afford to save, he's got more than enough, he's got savings and interest. Never mind just savings, loads of battery sat in the tank, ready to splurge all the way down the straight as poor Liam is sat in the cockpit with... He's having to do his ERS on Klarna for the rest of this race, I believe. He's down at about 6 and 5%, it's just not enough. It's not going to be enough. The gap between those two now down to 12.6, the COD's slowly clawing it back. He is down at about 20% battery as well. So John sitting pretty. It's basically his race to lose at this point. We can now jump and see if that was a track limit warning on lap 1 or if it was a track limit. It was a track limits. See if he's picked up any more in the meantime. He has not. So they might have just been fighting a wee bit hard on that first lap. Liam is still on 2 and I believe Cod Camper was still on 1. Was still on 1 as well, so they're still keeping it nice and tidy. Aya with the new fastest lap of a 17.8. The race record is a 15.7 by COD, so he needs another 2.1 seconds if he's wanting to nap that record off the man in P3, but that should be safe and sound for just now. Deflated out of the DRS of of John. Gap down 11.7 between those two. Chipmunks had a spin fight in Chivers and is down and away in P11. We'll jump on board with David and Socks as these guys are the next closest fight on track as everybody else has slowly started spacing out a little bit as we head into the final closing laps of the race. We'll see if David fancies the move, does have the fresher tyres. These two will be going to the end. Some of the guys in front of them do still need to box, or will also be going to the end as well, but I think the gap will just be a wee bit too big for them to get anything done. We'll see if David fancies the move into turn 1, burns all that battery. Sock's not fighting it too hard, puts the energy into none, saves down the straight, knows he doesn't need to fight it, and David takes P6 on track, and we'll now see if he can charge after Powen about 15 odd seconds up the roads. Interesting to see if Powen can actually grab P4 off of that guy. I think he did speed into the pit lane. We'll jump to the penalty section if he can. Everybody else sped into the pit lane except him. I picked the one guy that hadn't done it. that's just bad luck, really, isn't it? But the gap, 4.5, and he does have 3 seconds, so Powen can try and claw that back a wee bit. Does have the fresher tyres by about a lap, so it'll be close. We can see if he can do it and maybe get his best result of the season in P4, but I think P5 he'll be very, very happy with after not being here for a few weeks. They've all sort of calmed it down a little bit now. 10.4 the gap between COD and Deflated, so that might be one to watch out for near the end of the race if COD doesn't take too much life out of those hard compound tyres, and Deflated as well. I think they'll probably both be feeling about the same right now, about 8-lap-old mediums against 5-lap-old hards. Oh, that's a big slide, and I'm surprised that wasn't a warning. Running that far wide. We'll see if he got away with it. He did. Surprised he didn't get one for that. Maybe the game deemed the slide is enough time lost. High on Spice speeding into the pit lane as well, and he now calls it quits. Powen has left. I believe he did add me, so we'll see if I can get him back. That was Snacksy's, that wasn't his. He didn't add me when he joined back. And I don't have him. So that's an issue. You might need to try and ping Padge and see if you can get yourself back in. This race is getting a bit boring. It's simmered down now. I think if COD and Willow hadn't have collided, then it would have been a lot closer, because look at the amount of time that COD lost from that. He would have been in and amongst with Deflated and probably would have been P2. Oh, pardon me. In the race. And how am I getting ads? I've just seen that ad as I'm 1 minute and 20 log as well. That is brutal. That is brutal. Unless your subscriptions run out and it's just not having it, I'm not sure. But they have all slowly panned out, which means my voice gets a little bit of a rest. However, the entertainment we did have, I think there will be a fair amount of stewarding to sort. Which is why I'm quite happy I am off on Thursday and I can rattle through all of that before realistic kicks off on Thursday night. But John fully stretching the legs now. He is up and away. He has went go gadget ERS and is now 3 seconds up the road from Deflated behind him. The gap now down 7.5. You can just see it's the front left now has more blisters than a poor kid that didn't put any Factor 50 on at the beach. You can see it slowly starting to green. You can see those little white flecks starting to show up, showing how worn those tyres are. If I was to take a bet, I would say they're maybe about 40-50-ish% roughly. I know it's going to sound very cliche, but he's not looked after them that well. And I can say that because after last night, where I forgot the meaning of tyre management, they got eviscerated. Right, we'll have a wee look and see how they are all on fuel. So Deflated plus 0.4. John is on the bubble. It's about 0.1, 0.09. So he might have to fuel save in the last coming laps, which might be why he's pushing as hard as he can just now. COD is at plus a half a lap, so he's fine. That guy should now have P4 on lock and is nearly 2 laps over on fuel, so he's definitely fine and making it to the end. Powen is 2.5 laps over, but that's just because of his AI, unfortunately. And I think everybody else, nobody's doing a nice wee tribute to what we had in Australia for realistic, where it was myself, Deflated and Padge all ran out of fuel with 3 laps to go. Because we all thought, oh well, it's raining, we'll definitely save fuel. We did not save fuel. So we learned that one the hard way. I'll remember that one. Need to remember that the Williams loves to just guzzle fuel. I think that guy close to lapping Chipmunk as well. It's all fully settled down a little bit. There's not really that many people too close to each other now. They've all done their split strategies and are just slowly closing that gap down. If Powen disconnects again though, David might be hoping that he can close that gap down. It was at 15 seconds, it's now down to 5.8. I have realised as well, and the gap between Deflated and COD is now at 5.2, but I think the COD's just going to run out of laps to do it. Unfortunately for him, which is, it's unfortunate, it's not... It was worth the gamble, especially with how far behind he was, and the fact he's gained about 12 seconds. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. I have a rough idea who I'm going to give the driver of the day to. In fact, what we can do, whilst we're here and it's settled down, we'll see what Powen's lap times were. I'm pretty sure he's now back in the car. So we'll have a look. Doing 21 zeros, 21.5, 21.0. That's that guy, sorry. Whoops. Powen. I can't read. So the last three, that was an AI lap, I think, and so was that one. It's about 21.3, 22.2. So he's doing about 21s. David, low 20s, so he's about a second a lap quicker. And then about 4, and then about 6. So he is gaining. Depends if he gains enough. Chivers picks up 3 seconds for his worries as well. I think Powen's 2 warnings. So if David can get the gap down enough, he is on 2 warnings. David 1? No, he's on 2 as well. So if he can keep it clean enough and hopes Powen disconnects again, then David will be looking quite happy for a nice wee P5. He's done very well for a P6 as well. To be fair to him, he's very much cooked in that way. The gap now to 3.1. But I'm not sure COD's going to quite. Can see Deflated now. See him just going around on your right hand side of the screen, along with the nice little water park that's up there on that side, that big yellow slide up on the hill that David absolutely loves, I think, instead of an ice bath. After the race, David will be having, he's packed his swimming trunks in the cockpit, he has them on under his overalls, and he'll be jumping into the wee swimming pool that they have in the slides, just on the outside of turn 5. Penalty situation, it's that guy on 3, Aya on 13, he will drop down to P9. I think the wing damage he got early on has kind of ruined his race a little bit. Chivers will stay P10 and Chipmunk will stay P11 as well. They've all fanned out a wee bit. COD fully pushing, he might get Liam on the last lap. It'll be close. See how much battery they've been saving. Not a lot. John's fuel saving is now perfectly fine as well. He's up to about 0.1, 0.2 roughly. Just in the middle, but we'll stick on board with COD for these last couple of laps. We'll see if he gets the move done on Deflated, because currently Deflated's gaining 2 points on him. The way the point system goes for us would be 25, 20, 18, 16, 14, 12, 10, and then it just runs all the way down, basically, I'm pretty sure. I have it written down somewhere, but it's not on me currently, unfortunately. So you would gain 2 points, which would be a big deal between those two, as it is a 4-point gap, and it's just wee bragging rights, basically. But I don't think he's gonna have enough laps to do it. If there was one more lap, then I think he would have had him, but he's not. Unless he fancies a dive from miles back, or if Liam gets a slide like that out the last corner, he's going to have him. See, he doesn't think to the right to defend it. Nearly Schumacher's him into the wall, Barrichello's him into the wall. There's contact between them. They're going to go side by side into turn 1, but Liam's just not got the grip. It's like a repeat of the practice race from last night. And COD Camper, after being 16 seconds back coming out of the pit lane, he's now P2. See, he'll extend his lead on Deflated by 2 points, so that'll put him up to 130. And he has managed to get it done. I didn't think he'd get it. That slide out of the last corner, it just compromised Liam. Couldn't get the power down. And even with Cod dipping a wheel onto the grass, it's just DRS, ERS and slipstreams just... You can't defend against it. You can't defend against it, unfortunately. I think Liam is now coasting the way home, because that front left is looking awfully, awfully battered and blistered. But we will jump on board with the man that started P3 in the race. His two title rivals collided at the start, and ever since then it was like Moses parting the Red Seas, as John will take the win once again for the third time on Hungarian soil. Cod Camper, after managing to pass Deflated on the last lap at turn 1, takes P2. Deflated just in behind them in P3. It will be that guy next to the line, and he's got Chipmunk behind him for company as well. The top three managing to keep it clean and not getting any penalties, but that guy equaling his best performance, or his best finish of the season, managed to keep it nice and consistent. A P4, a P6 and a P4 in his last three. To the line, does take P4. Deflated is not having it. He is gone and gone. He's done what I've done. Powing to the line after recovering, after disconnecting twice. That's not too shabby from him. He takes P5. David takes P6. Very good result for our man in the Alpine socks. Will take P7. Just about hangs on with Aya to the line. It was a drag race between those two, and Aya with the 10 seconds can't get it done on track. He will finish P8. Marlboro with a big slide and a spinner into the wall. Just manages to miss the DRS side to cushion it. And he will take P9 on the road, and Chivers and Chipmunk were a lap down and have already finished. And that is us. Done and dusted before 9 o'clock. It's like Jim from The Office on New Year's Eve. Oh, I can take a drink. And there we have our nice wee accolades that they've added. Driver of the day going to socks. We'll see if I agree with that one. We'll see. But there we have it. Our championship leader from P3 to P1. John takes P1 for the third time here at Hungary. Cod Camper P2. He'll extend his lead over Deflated behind Tim in the standings in P3. Deflated does stay P3. Unfortunately for him, does make up a spot, but that is after Willow did have his incident with Cod and did DNF. That guy has best result of the season again, or equals his best result of the season, sorry, in P4. Powen, an excellent performance after lagging out a few times during the session, does take P5. David P6, he'll be very happy with that one. In the Alpine socks P7, we've got Aya P8, Marlboro P9, Chivers P10, Chipmunk in P11, High on Spice P12, Prev did retire, Willow did retire, Wizard Mitten retired, and Ross also retired as well. And that is us for no assists for the next 2 weeks. That is us done and dusted. It is our summer break. We're back afterwards with, I want to say, Qatar. I think it is Qatar. 12th of August is when we're back. So you'll all get a nice break from hearing my voice. I'm sure you'll be thrilled with that one. If you're wanting to watch any more of the league during the week, we are back on Thursday for a realistic tier. That will be at Hungary as well. And you can see everybody you've seen tonight, they will all be in cars relative to their performance. So John will be in a Sauber, Cod will probably be in a Sauber with him as well, Deflated will be in a V-Carb, I'll be racing in the Williams, Nico, I will see you Thursday as well in the Ferrari, and we will also be back on Sunday for our assists tier, where you can see me, Nico, Socks, Crazy Cow, Josh, all the usual protagonists fighting away around the Hungaroring here at Magyar Naginecst, I believe is how you pronounce it. I might have summoned something there, I'm not sure, we'll find out afterwards. They're all at 7:30 as well. They'll be at the same time as this one, and then after that, you don't have us for 2 weeks. I'm not sure what you're going to do, guys. Honestly, you'll need to find something else to keep yourselves entertained. But I've been your streamer, SV5 Scuderia, or Killian, or the Flying Scotch Strain, or you can usually say something else beginning with F as well, but I won't say it on stream. But yeah, that's been us. I will see you guys once again in 2 weeks' time in Qatar. Bye bye.